तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता. Kindly repeat. यह सर्वत्र okay. यह सर्वत्र अनभिस्नेह तत्तत् प्राप्य शुभ अशुभम न अभिनंदति न द्वेष्टि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. In the material world, one who is unaffected by whatever good or evil, he may abstain neither praising it nor despising it. It firmly fixed in perfect knowledge. Purport. There is always some upheaval in the material world which may be good or evil. One who is not agitated by such material upheavals, who is unaffected by good and evil, is to be understood to be fixed in Krishna consciousness. As long as one is in the material world, there is always the possibility of good and evil, because this world is full of duality. But one who is fixed in Krishna consciousness, he is not affected by good and evil, because he is simply concerned with Krishna, who is all good absolute. Such consciousness is Krishna situates one in a perfect transcendental position called technically Samadhi. So today we will be seeing 57, 58 and 59, 3 shlokas, because all these heading to the same topic. यदा संहरते चायं कूर्मोऽङ्गानीव सर्वशः इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेभ्यास् तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता.
यदा संहरते चायं कूर्मोऽनादि नाग्न सर्व इन्द्रियाणि इन्द्रियस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता.
Thank you. Translation. One who is able to withdraw his senses from sense objects as the tortoise draw its limbs within the shell is firmly fixed in perfect consciousness. Purport. The test of a yogi, devotee or self-realized soul is that he is able to control the senses according to his plan. Most people, however, are servants of senses and are thus directed by the dictation of the senses. That is the answer to the question as to how the yogi is situated. The senses are compared to venomous serpents. They want to act very loosely and without restriction. The yogi or the devotee must be very strong to control the serpents like a snake charmer. He never allows them to act independently. There are many injunctions in the revealed scriptures. Some of them are do nots and some of them are do's. Unless one is able to follow the do's and the don'ts, restricting oneself from self-enjoyment, it is not possible to be firmly fixed in Krishna consciousness. The best example set herein is the tortoise. The tortoise can at any moment wind up its senses and exhibit them again at any time for particular purposes. Similarly, the senses of Krishna conscious persons are used only for some particular purpose in the service of the Lord and are withdrawn otherwise. Arjuna is being taught here to use his senses for the service of the Lord instead of for his own satisfaction. Keeping the senses always in the service of the Lord is the example set by the analogy of the tortoise, who keeps the senses within. And 59th and last sloka. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinah rasavacham rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate.
Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinah rasavacham rasopyasya param drishta nivartate.
Thank you, sir. Though the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, the taste for sense objects remains. But ceasing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste is fixed in consciousness. Purport: unless one is transcendently situated, it is not possible to cease from sense enjoyment. The purpose of restriction from sense enjoyment by rules and regulation is something like restricting a deceased person from certain types of eatables. The patient, however, neither likes such restrictions nor loses his taste for eatables. Similarly, sense restriction by some spiritual process like Ashtanga Yoga in the matter of Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, etc. is recommended by less intelligent persons who have no better knowledge, but one who has tasted the beauty of Supreme Lord in course of his advancement in Krishna consciousness no longer has a taste for dead material things. Therefore, restrictions are there for the less intelligent neophytes in the spiritual advancement of life, but such restrictions are only good until one actually has a taste for Krishna consciousness. When one is actually Krishna conscious, he automatically loses his taste for the pale things. Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone for the Sunday program. All of you. So I'm just wanted to repeat what I heard from Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev and Vaishnavas. Just wanted to be a postman kind of thing. It's no credit from my side. So this shloka, it's 2.57. It's this in this chapter. The Lord gives the overall summary of the Sankhya Yoga and Buddhi Yoga. So actually, the background for this is the Arjuna is wanted to understand more. Actually, he was heard from the Lord that this Buddhi Yoga, what is the soul and how the embodied soul works within this material world. All those things he heard, and then he is having further doubts, and he is asking, so how does this person, the transcendentalist who works, and how he sits, how he walks, what is his symptoms? So last week I think we have told about the few symptoms, like who gives up, like who is the transcendentalist, what is his few qualities that we have seen, like who gives up all varieties of desires for sense gratification, and who is not disturbed in mind, free from attachment, fear and anger. These symptoms we have seen and it is being explained. So this week we will see the symptom of a person who is fixed in transcendence. So like unaffected by whatever good or evil, neither praising nor despising, firmly fixed in perfect knowledge. So how a person will be fixed in the perfect knowledge, whether he is, once he is scolded or praised, he is not disturbed. Some people will go down when they are scolded, even though it is being told to just to help them, but they will take it in a wrong way. So, and then one who is able to withdraw his senses from sense object as a tortoise, that symptom will see. And what is this experiencing a higher taste, and how we can leave the lower natures very easily, because in this modern age people are trying to stop the wrong things forcefully, but they are not able to continue that long term. So it will the senses, the desire for enjoyment will remain if you forcefully try to stop it. But easily we can see the magic and the trick how we can utilize to control our senses and engage in the service of the Lord. That we will see today. So, first of all, how we shall know that one is situated in the pure consciousness. So, we should not imagine or speculate. It should be proved by the symptoms. If one is pure means is purely situated, just like if a patient is there, he got some fever, the fever subsides from him. So that is the proof that his disease is gone. Like that, we should have proof to say someone is purely conscious, purely Krishna conscious. Just like we have the spirit soul, the proof is the consciousness. That is the symptom. So that's how we can understand we are the spirit soul is there within us. So we are the spirit soul, and I have to be situated in pure consciousness, dovetailing myself with the supreme consciousness. So engaging devotional activities. That is the whole program what we are trying to do day in and day out. So now, how that program ought to be executed, that will be discussed in the chapter 3, the Karma Yoga, how we can work in Krishna consciousness in the further chapters. Like chapter 5 is about working in Krishna consciousness. So how we can do that we can see in the future. The self-realized person situated in pure consciousness, so will be experienced by his practical behavior. So we can understand by his activities, we can understand he is self-realized. So, because I am a spirit soul, somehow I am in trouble now. Because I am in contact with this matter. So that's why I am in trouble. So, now I have to detach from this matter. So, I am to be situated in my pure consciousness, that spiritual state. So, this is called Vairagya. So, how we can detach from this material contact and achieve the Vairagya. So, Vairagya and detachment from the material attraction is very easily we can do. So, as I said, so in the Srimad Bhagavatam it is said, Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yogaha Prayojitaha Janayatya Asu Vairagyam Jnanam Cha Yat Ahaitukam. So that means by rendering devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna, so Vasudeva means the Lord Krishna. So one immediately acquires causeless knowledge and detachment from the world. So just by serving the Lord, so he can easily achieve these two things, detachment and knowledge. So if somebody engages himself in devotional service of Vasudeva, so he will achieve that. But without the knowledge, there cannot be any detachment. So you cannot achieve the detachment without the knowledge. So what is that knowledge? First of all, the knowledge is I am the spirit soul. So I am not this body. So first of all, we have to understand we are not the body, we are the spirit soul. So it's not a very easy subject matter to understand, because many transcendentalists, they are trying to life after life, they are trying to understand this detachment. They are trying to achieve this detachment life after life, but they are somehow or other they are failing. But the easy process is if one engages in the devotional service. So Vasudeva Bhagavati, that means he engages himself in the service of the Lord. So that is the formula given. So in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is given. Vasudeve Bhagavati. So just by serving the Lord, you can achieve that. So Krishna is father of every living being. So he does not like to see the sons undergoing unnecessary difficulties, miseries. So we are all a very rich man's son. Then why should we? Why we are suffering in this material world? So why we are suffering? Because somewhere or other, by the material contact, we are suffering. So because we are in the contact with material world, so that's why we are suffering. But the people in general in this world, they don't care for suffering. So they see material enjoyment is all in all. So which is cause of this bondage. So he will try to exploit, he will try to enjoy this material world through all his senses, trying to explore things, exploit things. Let's say, for example, if a prisoner is there, he was prisoned for his some bad activities. So he will think, so I am in this jail. If I go outside, what I will do? What job I will get? Who will search job? Let me stay in this prison. Now I am a C class prisoner. Future I will become B class prisoner, and then day by day I will become A class prisoner. Prison is prison only. So you will be bound. So similarly, so those who are in the shackles of this material modes of nature, they are completely forgotten that. So we have got the spiritual life, so which is full of freedom. So full of knowledge, full of bliss. We can become exactly or almost like a god. So you can enjoy full freedom. Otherwise you will be completely bound by this sense enjoyment and miseries with the shackles of material modes of nature. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. So here it is given in the 2.58. It says, Yada samharate chayam kurmonganiva sarvashah indriyanindriyatebhya tasya prajna pratishtita. Kurma means tortoise. So indriyanindriyatebhya. So it is trying to control its senses. How? Once any shatru comes, enemy, it will try to take all his limbs, head, everything inside. So why this example is given? So whatever the let's say, for example, if a person is in the prison, he will be bound by the iron. So I have seen that those who are doing the criminal activities, they will be bound by iron shackles. So similarly, in this material world, so we are bound with the sense enjoyment. Yes. So we are bound by this sense enjoyment. That's how we are bound. So if we want to cut our present life, so then first symptom will be to minimize this sense enjoyment. So we have to reduce this and regulate our sense enjoyment. So then only we can cut this knot. So example is given, the tortoise. He can close up his senses as he likes. That means he is master of the senses. He does not like to be servant of senses. That's how the Goswamis it is. They are said Goswami. Goswami means one who is master of senses. Godasa means he is under control of senses. So how the senses dictates, he acts. Rather, Goswamis, how they dictate, senses will act. They can even engage anger in Krishna consciousness. But we are carried by anger. That way. But it is said, it is not that we should stop the sensual activities. Nobody can stop it. They are not to be. They are to be used in a proper time, but not at the dictation of senses. Action of the senses cannot be stopped, simply it has to be purified. So all the senses has to be purified. That is our whole Krishna conscious process. So starting from Mangalarti, book reading, chanting, Sandhyarti, everything, the program like this, the whole process is that. So purifying our senses. Because as the spiritual living entity, so we have got our spiritual senses. Those senses are now covered by this matter. Example, we have the coat. So coat also got some hand. If, let's say we are wearing the coat, and coat is also got some hand. How did it got? Because we have the hand. The coat doesn't have. That means our spiritual bodies are, there must be a senses. That's why we are also getting the senses. I mean the Atma, the spirit. So they are engaged in the service of the Supreme. That is our freedom. So whatever the senses and their byproducts, everything, we are engaging in the service of the Lord. So that's why Narottam Das Thakur, yesterday Narottam Das Thakur appearance day was there. So he says, Narottam Das Thakur, Kamaha Krishna Karmarpane. So what it means is, he says, I will engage my lust by offering the fruits of my work to Lord Krishna. I will engage my anger by directing it as at those who are envious of Lord's devotee. I will engage my greed by becoming greedy to hear the glories of Lord in the association of saintly devotee. By not attaining my worshipable Lord Krishna, I will engage the quality of bewilderment, and I will engage the madness by becoming mad to glorify the transcendental qualities of the Lord. In this way, I will spiritualize these material qualities for the service of the Lord. Here the same thing is explained in the 2.58. It is same thing. Yada samharate chayam kurmonga niva. So one should know when I shall properly use the senses. So that is the sign of person who is situated in pure consciousness. So he knows properly how to use his senses. So in the beginning, Arjuna was saying, I will not fight. So after hearing Bhagavad Gita, what happened? So he wanted to fight. So what happened in between? So he understood, he learned Bhagavad Gita. That I have to engage my senses in satisfaction of Supreme Lord. So that is the whole consciousness we should have. So, if you see soldiers and the terrorists, so soldiers are there, soldiers also killing the people, and terrorists also killing the people. So what is the difference? One is being medaled, rewarded, given all the awards, and other people are hanged. So why? What happened in between? Both are killing. So both the process is killing only. So one is rewarded, one is punished. Why it is like that? That's because the soldier is working under the government, working under the direction of government. But the terrorist working against the government. So similarly, if you see doctor and the thief, so both are using the knife, same knife, so to cut the body. The one is saving the life, another one is taking out the life. So that's what we have to understand this matter. If we act according to our mental speculation or mental whims, then we are bound up by this reaction. If we practice ourselves to be acted under the direction of Supreme, then we are free. This is the art. This is the whole art of spiritual life. So we should learn how to act under the Supreme. So then we will be safe. So we will not get the reactions what we do. So we cannot stop the activities of the body. So let's say for example we are eating eating we cannot stop. But eating also we will get reaction. How we are getting reaction we will see further. So in the third chapter, 9th sloka it is said, Yagnartha karmanonyatra lokoyam karma bandhanah yagna shishtashinah shanto muchyante sarva kilbishaihi. So work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work binds one to this material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction, and in that way you will always remain unattached and free from bondage. See, in the third chapter, 9th sloka it is said, so you should work as a sacrifice to the Lord. So what is that sacrifice means then? So suppose, let's say you got few dollars, some thousands, some 10,000 you got. In that some 1,000 rupees you spend it for a poor person. So you are helping that person. You are facilitating and helping him. So for that you are getting a good karma. The punya. You are gaining a punya. So even according to the law of karma, you will get the reaction for that. So because you have given 1,000 rupees to that poor kid and you helped, maybe you have to take again one more birth to receive that 1,000 rupees back from the same kid. So that is the bondage. So in Bhagavad Gita it says that Yagna Shishtash Shinashanto Muchya Sarva Kilbishai. Kilbishai means sinful reaction. So for every action there is equal and opposite reaction. Newton's third law. Tit for tat kind of. So good reaction or bad reaction. If you do bad things, you will get bad reaction. If you do good things, you will get good reactions. So if someone eats, one who eats after offering to the Supreme Lord, he is not under the regulations of reaction. So, but so whatever we eat, for that we should repay back. So in this world, let's say you are, if some people are eating flesh, so in Sanskrit it is called mamsa. So why it is called mamsa? Mam means me. Sa means he. Mamsa. So in this life you are eating me. In next life I will eat you. That is the meaning of that. Mamsa. Me. Ma. Sa means he. So in next life I will be going to eat you. So that's how it is said. So now, apart from the this thing, animal eating, the flesh eating. So don't think only the non-vegetarians will get reactions. Even vegetarians also will get reactions. So they are not free from the reactions. They will also get. They are also under the this modes of material nature. So unless you are not offering to the Lord and you are eating yourself, then you may have to abide by the laws and you may have to experience that reactions. So in Bhagavad Gita it is said, if you eat the remnants after offering sacrifice to Lord, then you not only get free from the reaction, but you will be purified. So just by offering. So it is said, so how we come to know, what is the proof that we will, once after we offer the bhoga to Lord will eat it. What is the proof? So let's say you have two teams or two people are there. So you feed him which is not offered prasadam. It's simply something whatever you cook and you give him without offering, and you give another person which is offered. You just see the transformation it's happening in both of them. So the purification starts. Art transforms within, and he will develop very good qualities the noble characters, and easily the anarthas will go. So that is the symptoms. That is the proof that the Lord is taking whatever we are offering. So it is become spiritualized. So one should develop this higher taste. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinah rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. So this is the next sloka 2.59. The embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, though the taste for sense object remains, but ceasing such engagement by experiencing a higher taste is fixed in consciousness. Let's say, for example, some people who are deceased, so the doctor advised him, don't eat such and such things. So why that restrictions is given? To make him cured faster. If he eats what causes him more disease, so then what is the use of taking medicine? It will be prolonged. So that's why doctors say you restrict these items, you restrict and take medicine properly on time, then you will be cured very fast. Similarly, there are so many things which you are refrain from doing by force. So I have told you before, if you do by forcefully, you cannot stay long in that abstinency. You cannot make progress in the spiritual life by force, because so you are independent. Every individual being has got a little portion of the independence. So not only you, if you force a child, he will revolt against you. Yeah, why I have to do? You cannot force anyone. Every soul is an independent. But one who is spiritually advanced, he is not forced. So for him it will become very easy. He is voluntarily giving up. So let's say the devotees, if you see, they don't smoke, they don't drink, they don't eat meat. So these things, for outsiders, it is very, very difficult for them. So for devotees it will be very easy. It's very, very easy, because they got the higher taste. He has found something sublime. So sublime, that is, does not care for the material enjoyment. So he got the higher taste. That's why he for the lower taste is he very easily can leave. So very nicely this Yamunacharya says about this. Yat avadi mam cheta Krishna padara vinde navanava damanya udyatam rantum asit tad avadi batanari sangame smaryamane bhavati mukha vikarah shustu nistivanam cha. So Sri Yamunacharya is the guru of Ramanujacharya. So I hope you all know who is Ramanujacharya. So one of the prominent leader in the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya. He is the guru of Ramanujacharya. So he says he was actually a great king, Yamunacharya. So I have been engaged in transcendental loving service of Krishna, realizing ever new pleasure in him. Whenever I think of sex pleasure, I spit at the thought, and my lips curl with distance. So he is expressing his experience, because he is very royal. He was a king. He was having all the facilities, and he is aristocratic family. So he has enjoyed his life like anything. So now after he becomes a great devotee, spiritually engaged, he expresses his experience in this way. Yat avadi namacheta Krishna padara vinda. Since I have engaged my heart and soul in the supreme devotional service of the Lord, since then, what is that result? So when he is completely engaged in the service of the Lord, he यत् अवधि नाम चेत कृष्ण पदारविन्दे नव नव रस धाम्य उद्यातं रन्तुम् आसीत्. I am getting every moment a new type of transcendental pleasure. So when I am completely engaged in the service of the Lord, every time I am getting new transcendental pleasures. Bata Nari Sangame. So this is a material word. Nari Sangame means sex life. Combination of man and woman. Nari Sangame. He says that since then, that whenever I think of sex life, I spit on that thought. So here it is said, Rasavarjam Rasopyasam Param Drishta Nivartate. In this shloka 2.59, so it is said, the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, though the taste for sense objects remains. But ceasing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste, he is fixed in consciousness. So one who is forcefully restrained from the material enjoyment, that sort of forceful enjoyment cannot last for a long time. So we have seen so many examples in this world. So if you take the example of the Vishwamitra, so Vishwamitra was, there was some great Muni, the great sage, so his name Vishwamitra. He was formerly a very powerful king. So now this Vishwamitra was performing meditation in the forest very supremely. Now the Indra, the king of heaven, he became frightened. So this man is performing so much penance, so he might come, he might ask from God and claim my seat. So that's the Indra always thinks. So we have seen so many pastimes like that. So just wake him up and wake him, just detach him from this purpose. So he had many beautiful women. So what he does, he will send one of the damsels. I will not fight, I will be inactive. Like that he was saying. I will not work only. Like that he was saying. So once he got the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, so he became very active. He became very transcendentally active. He wanted to serve the Lord. So he understood that is the supreme and that is the ultimate goal of life. So then how we can develop this higher engagement? So for this question, so Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, we have the answer. It said, Ado Shraddha Tada Sadhu Sangha Sangortha Bhajana Kriyaha Tato Anartha Nivritti Syat Tato Nishta Ruchihi Tata Atha Saktis Tato Bhavaha Tata Premabhya Vidachati Sadakanam Ayam Premna Pradurbhave Bhave Kramaha. Actually, in the beginning, we must have some faith. So then spiritual life will begin. So first of all, so Shraddha means some faith. So we should have some faith. Just like you all came here today, so to hear from me, hear from the speaker. That means you have some little faith in you. So that's why you came here. So here, we are not showing movie, we are not doing any politics here, but still you came. Why you came? You have some little faith. That is the beginning. That's the beginning of your devotional life. So without this faith, you will not spare any single moment. You will not come. There are so many people we invited, but they did not come. You people came. That means you have the faith in this process. So sometimes we may think, hey, it is very dry subject. Sometimes we will feel like that. So when you develop this faith and intensify, so then you will get further advancement in your life. So this faith should be intensified. That means, so first of all, beginning is faith, and now as you make your faith intensified, now you become progressive in the spiritual point. Ado Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha. If you have got some faith, then you will find out some sadhus. So when you intensify your faith, then next is you will find out some sadhus who can teach me what is the goal of life, or how should I lead my life purely. The root cause of devotional service to Lord Krishna is association with advanced devotees. Even when dormant love for Krishna awakens with the association of devotees, it's a most essential. So associating with the devotees is most essential for us. Then only in this the dormant stage, the Krishna, the dormant love for Krishna, so it will get awakened by the association of devotees, just by being with devotees and attending the programs and attending the kirtans, being with the. That's why it is said, Lavamatra sadhu sangha sarva siddhi hoy. So be with the winner makes you a winner. So that is the translation for that. So if there is actually association of spiritual self-realized person, then he will give you some process, the spiritual activities, the bhajana kriya, just like we do kirtan. So that thing. And as you are more and more engaged in spiritual activities, so proportionately your material activities and affection for material activities will be diminished. So how much further you go and how much spiritual activities you do, that much the material desires, material enjoyments, the desire to enjoy, that will get subsided, that will be minimized, and you will experience the higher taste, higher happiness, higher goal of life. So like that. So if I become spiritually engaged, then I have give up my profession. So some people will think, so if I become devotee, if I attend programs, I may have to leave my profession and go. So this is the misconception we have. So we can do our profession nicely, we can do our duty, along with that we can do our spiritual activities also. So that is what the question which Arjuna also had. So at the beginning, so he wanted to not to work only, beginning. Then after Lord is guided him, so he wanted to work under the guidance, work under the by remembering the Lord. So this is not the business of human life. The human life is just to understand his relationship with the Supreme and engage him in that engagement. So that should be the mission of life. And as soon as do it, all facilities are open, and the little progress you make, you will find that you have no more attachment for material life and material enjoyment. So you will completely become spiritualized. So at the end, I would like to narrate one story of Mahamurka. So and then I would like to end my session. So there was a very wealthy king. So he was completely attached to wealth and women and prestige. So and he was ruling very nicely and helping prajas